Couch Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Valorant video. And in this video, we gotta talk about the brand new meta, because the old meta, the Jett and Sova meta, has basically come to an end, and it's being replaced by a brand new meta. So you need to learn about all the crazy things that are happening right now and know exactly what meta is the strongest going forward. But the GameLeap website has pro breakdowns, agent tips and tricks, and so much to help you improve and climb incredibly fast. Do yourself a favor and go check it out right now down below. Now, for the longest time, there have been two agents that have been at the top of the meta, and this has been true for over a year, and it's been Jett and Sova. These characters have been incredibly powerful and dictate entire metas, both of which saw play on almost every single map. There was times when Sova had an over 80% pick rate, and Jett almost always had over 70%. Now, this was true for a number of different reasons. For one, Sova had insane ability to take point presence with his drone that allows him to take control of certain areas and clear corners, and his dart that was on a cooldown, allowing you to potentially execute on sites or have multiple hits throughout a round in pro play because you got to wait out the time frame and then re-hit a different site with more information. Jett also had a very powerful role in the game because pound for pound, she was the carry character in the entire game. She had the ability to use an operator in a way that no one else could because she could take a shot and just dash away, and that allowed her to potentially be very aggressive with an operator on defense or get out a situation where she got flashed, where she got jiggle peeked and joint swung. And then on attack, she was one of the few characters that could actually use an operator. And then on the flip side, she could engage onto points. She had the ability to use her knives on an eco. She could dash and smoke to gain space on a point and clear areas on the map. And all those things combined together to make Jett very, very strong. And in fact, Sova and Jett worked very well together, where a dart would go out, a Jett would dash in, and all of a sudden the Jett could spray any enemy's tag with the dart through the own smoke that she dashed into, and you took side control. Super easy, super clean, got kills, got the point, and it was really a match made in heaven. Now, that being said, we go on to Masters Copenhagen that is happening right now with the best teams and best players in the world, where Jett and Sova are both hovering at about a 20% pick rate, a huge far cry from where they were before, and they have just completely fallen off in the meta. And it leaves a lot of people to ask why. Well, the first thing is nerfs. Of course, Sova received a slight nerf to his shock darts and to the range at which his drone could go out, but that really didn't hit Sova very hard. However, the Jett nerf did hit her hard. The fact that you have to prime the dash now means that if you're using your dash and getting multiple kills, it could be perceived as a buff. But for a lot of situations where you're trying to op, it's a huge nerf, and it makes Jett a lot worse at holding angles and opping, and it just makes Jett not a very great opper in general, especially with the introduction of Chamber, which is the first character that directly challenged Jett for what she was good at. Not only is Jett worse at opping, but there's a character that naturally fits opping so much better that it doesn't make sense for you to play Jett in that role, and you kind of put her as a pure engager on your team, where there's other characters that are just doing that better right now, specifically Raze, who has seen a dramatic uptick in pick rate, where as just a pure engager, if you take opping out of the conversation, Raze is phenomenal, and she is lined up very, very well right now. And she lines up also in combination with a new character introduced, which is Fade, who is directly competing with Sova. While Fade initially didn't challenge Sova very much, as pros got better and better at Fade, it's becoming clear that she, on the majority of maps, outside of perhaps Breeze and maybe even Icebox, she is the better pick than Sova, at least right now in pro play. And this leaves a lot of players wondering why. Well, there's a couple of things that you have to consider about Fade's kit directly compared to Sova. First off, you got to think about her dogs. Those dogs are very, very good at clearing away close angles, and just purely using them to clear close angles away and take space just is very, very effortless, and you could do it multiple times. As opposed to maybe one drone that would clear space, you could use just one of your potential two dogs to get that space, and that's really, really efficient and a little bit better than the rate that Sova is gaining that space. In addition, with players getting better and better at using Fade's Eye, it's becoming very reliable, and even more so in some situations to Sova's Recon Dart, where because you can drop the Fade Eye whenever you want to, you can be very flexible with where it comes down, making it harder and harder for players at the higher end to actually counter the eye coming down and denying its value. Of course, we got to talk about the natural combination of Fade's trap ability that allows her to slow and basically stall out a point, making her a little bit better on defense than a character like Sova, but it combos really well with Raze, who saw an uptick, because you can use that plus grenades, which we're seeing that combo a lot right now, paint shells plus the bounty hunter trap, just working incredibly well together in coordinated play. And then, of course, we do got to think about the head-to-head with Fade's ultimate and Sova's ultimate. Fade's ultimate just becoming a much better team-oriented ability and probably just flat out more powerful at securing full rounds as opposed to Sova's ultimate maybe getting a pick here or there. Now, also going back to Jet is being challenged by also just the rise of initiators as a whole. Fade isn't the only initiator seeing play, and in a lot of ways, double initiator is seeing play more often than double duelist. We're seeing combinations of Fade and KO, or Fade and Breach, or even KO and Breach, and we're seeing these situations pop up more and more where the initiator role is so stacked with some of the really powerful options, where we're seeing less and less Jet, and of course Sova is also having a lot of competition in the slot right now. Now, one of the biggest problems with predicting where this meta will move to is the basically presence of Chamber, who's seeing an astronomically high pick rate right now, and in a large way creating the meta that we're currently in. Because right now, because Chamber is so strong at holding an angle, denying a space, and he has that operator on an ultimate and the ability to op better than anyone, you really want information gathering and flashes more than you have wanted in pretty much any meta. This really directly leads to a rise to having the ability to flash off sightlines. KO and Breach naturally get some sort of benefit, and then the ability to fast execute on a site when you force Chamber off of it. Having that flexibility to be able to fast commit and take space at the same time. So having characters like even Neon is seeing play right now. Characters like Raze, like I said, are seeing an amplified amount of play. And all in all, if Chamber gets nerfed in some way that brings him much further down, all of a sudden, maybe Jet's good again. Maybe Sova all of a sudden is more opened up, but maybe Fade will just progressively showcase to be the better and better initiator information gathering option. Right now, things are kind of up in the air, but it is important to understand that Sova and Jet aren't the far and away best characters in the game anymore, and there's a lot more competitive options. Not to say that they're unplayable, and of course, both of them have maps they're very, very good on, but the era of Jet and Sova has come to an end, and the meta is going to be up in the air for quite some time. But definitely let me know what you think about this new meta, and what characters do you think need buffs or nerfs for the foreseeable future. And go to the GameLeap website for tips, tricks, guides, and everything you need to pop off and dominate. Do yourself a favor and go check it out right now down below.